Hi, I'm Parul from PilotCity, and I'm going to be the host for today's presentations. Thank you all for attending, and if you have any questions for our presenters, please send them to the chat, and I'll be sure to address them at the end of the presentations. The Connetic interns today will not be showing us their finalized product, but they will be telling us about their progress and the skills they learned this summer. And I'll pass the mic over to Kwong, and we can get started with a bit about Connetic, the project scope that was proposed for all the interns, and what he hoped the interns would experience and learn this summer.
What's up, everybody? My name is Kwong. I started Connetic about 12 years ago. We are a clothing brand that mainly is sold online in some of our the mainland stores. The objective was to get some interns to do some designs and to create a capsule for Connetic. And this is the first time that I've done this, so we kind of tried to what's the word? So we had to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Our objective kind of shifted a little bit throughout the process, but I think we're on track right now to get some pretty good pieces rolling. But I'll let the students demonstrate what they have. So
if we can have the interns turn on their cameras too, so we can see them all. And hello. All right. But yeah, Kwong, do you want? I mean, you can kind of lead them in terms of when you guys have like your weekly meetings, however you want to have them kind of showcase their stuff.
So our weekly meetings, the way we showcase is just by them presenting what, because sometimes students have things to present and sometimes they don't. So I just provide feedback on the direction and on the pieces themselves. So
would you just like to point to one intern and they can present whatever they have prepared for today?
Yeah. I think Darius has definitely the most pieces designed. His latest design is probably my favorite, so I'll let Darius present.
All right, take it away.
Kwong, would you possibly be able to show the design? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. Let me download it real quick. It's on a PDF. Yeah, I can. Give me a second. Because I switched computers, so I don't have it on this computer because I usually work on the one at my house.
Curious, if you have the design, I can give you host so you can share your screen. You want to do that?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay, and just as a heads up, everyone, I know we're this account we're on a free account, so that just as a logistic, we don't have the same features. I'm hoping it doesn't stop the recording if I give it to you. Does anyone know that if I give over hosting, will it stop recording?
I think Kwong can make it so that there's multiple co-hosts.
Yeah, it looks like
okay. I think Jeff is the host at the moment. So
yeah, it looks like I'm curious. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make Darius.
Do you need to be a host to share screen?
I think so. Can you try sharing your screen, Darius? What is it? Does it give you a
host disabled participant screen sharing?
Multiple.
Okay, that's in like the settings. That's different.
You can share all participants.
Let me
try again, Darius. It's still not letting
you. I think it's gonna let me. Let's see. This. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
So yeah, I guess this is my latest design and probably my best design so far, I would say. And in this, I guess, do you want me to kind of explain it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Or just kind of explain more of the process, more so than the design, right? On the internship, or you want him just to explain the design itself?
You can do both.
Okay.
So I guess for the process of designing, I've kind of learned a lot over this period of the internship on how to, I guess, really go about the process. And when I first started, I guess I was really doing like more basic designs and like I wouldn't have been able to do this, but I've learned over time, you know, how to like create the real designs and how to get it done like how I guess a professional would. So I've tried to learn from that, and then I think I've progressively just got better, and this is what I've created. So it's about like a Asian culture theme of like bringing cultures together, I guess. And in this one, it's like the Mount Fuji in the background with the red moon, and then to the side there's like a little village, and it shows like the little samurai on the bottom about to like start his journey, I guess you could say, through the little gate thing. So yeah, I guess that's my thought process behind this design.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to show us?
Yeah, I think I could show you a couple more designs.
Sweet.
Is this
You want-
this is the current one, right? Like how did you get to this one from previous ones?
Well, this one I created from, I guess, scratch, you could say, but I got the idea from like some of my other designs. They were featuring like a samurai too, and I kind of just, I guess, thought of this idea instead, and I really liked how it turned out. So I guess I just kind of take little things from different designs that I do maybe, and like see what I like best or see what the team likes best, and then I tried to incorporate it all into one design.
So what tools did you use for this?
This was Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator.
Nice. So did you know any Photoshop or Illustrator skills before, or did you just learn
Yeah, I took a graphic design class, so I kind of learned like basic skills, I guess, but not really, I guess, how to design. So that's what I've learned most throughout this process.
Nice. Okay. Neat. All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to show us?
Do you think I should show them like the previous two designs, Kwong?
Yeah,
Show us more, Darius.
Yeah, I always show you like the progression, like where you first started to where it ended, right? So that kind of shows
Okay.
the progression of your designs, right? So
All right.
because I kind of explained to Jeff like your progression have definitely progressed, and certain people started in a different starting point, and everyone's progressed. It's just certain people at the end point are farther ahead, but they, some people started farther back, right? So, but like I said, every design I've seen people progress. So
I think I have a Google slide of some of my first designs that I guess I could show that. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can share this. Let's see. So yeah, I guess this is kind of what I started with, and you can see they're kind of like more basic. They might not go together, I guess, as well. And over time, I guess I developed like how to incorporate our overall theme into the design, because this is like what I started with. It didn't really have much to do with like the whole theme that you can see. So yeah, I guess I've learned over time. Let's see. You want to see the, I guess, most previous designs next?
Sure.
Darius, while you're looking for that, like what's something that you've been enjoying in terms of designing new as you're going through it? Like what's something that you're finding about the creative process that's enjoyable?
I would say I enjoy the overall process of like seeing a design, I guess, from the start, and then seeing it progress through feedback and like thinking of new ideas for it. So I think that's really cool about designing. Let's see.
How does it feel like, when something comes and you're like, oh, no one really like if they're not taking to it, how does that make you feel? In terms of like putting a design out there and then finding out, oh, maybe people don't really like it.
Yeah, there's been some designs that I guess just don't really go or people don't like, but I guess it's part of learning, and I try to take like what I could do better from their feedback. And yeah, I try to make my next design even better or make it to their liking more.
Are you able to find that you said most previous?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to share it one at a time. Yeah, this was before the most recent design. And you can see how I kind of stuck with the idea of a samurai, but this is kind of more simple, I guess you could say. And I tried to incorporate the feedback into the new design and make it more detailed, I guess, and stand out more for the culture.
Nice. So you mentioned a theme or something with your earlier designs. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so I guess the first theme that I came into the internship with was connecting and uniting like the world. And then, so that was how some of those designs are like based around the world and stuff like that. And then throughout like the internship, we kind of developed like a group theme that we should make for the whole capsule. And it was around highlighting Asian cultures. And so, yeah, that's how I got to like these newer designs, and you can kind of see the theme that goes with them.
Nice. So what made you choose samurai as like your main focus?
Um, for me, I think it was, I guess, the meaning and like the symbolism behind the samurai for like the culture, I guess. And it already brings like a meaning to the design as itself. So I feel like if I can create something around that and highlight the culture even more, then it'll look cool with the design.
Great. So what kind of next steps do you think you have?
Next steps, I think I just want to keep creating, I guess, better designs, and I want to get the capsule completely finished with the team so that we can all, I guess, get it going to make the t-shirts and go through that process and see what we can learn from that.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for presenting. You had a lot of really cool designs, and I'm excited to see the other interns' designs as well. So, Kwong, do you have anybody who'd like to go next, or do you have anything to say about Darius's designs?
No, Darius been dope. He's definitely been committing to the project, and submitting, continuously submitting new designs. So good job, Darius.
Thank you, Colin.
And Who do we have going next?
Either Anaya or John. Anaya, you want to go to next?
Sure.
Cool.
Great. Can you share screen right now, or Jeff, do you have to like change something?
It's not letting me currently.
Okay. Jeff, are you there? Can you like give her access to share screen?
Yeah, I don't think I have access anymore.
Okay. Okay, well, while we're
Yep,
waiting.
1 second. Let me,
Okay,
sorry
never
about
mind.
that. Let me check. This is weird because I didn't really do anything different for Darius to share. I just thought I'd change a setting in there. Let me see. Naya, what pop-up is it telling you when it's saying that you can't share?
It's saying that the host hasn't given us like access.
Huh.
So while we're waiting on that, Derek, do you have anything you'd like to say or any questions?
No, I'd like to just ask interns to kind of give us a tour, right? Give us a tour of what your thought process was, your designs. No need to kind of ask us, wait for us to, give you a prompt. We really want to know what you've experienced along the way, and we're able to kind of achieve and milestones that you've gone to as you've designed. So take us into a brain of Anaya. Take us to the brain of John. That's kind of what we're looking for. Oh, by the way, that background, Kwong, I think I used to climb those to get size 10s for people. So if you don't know, Kwong used to be my boss. He was my second job when I worked at Mainland Skate and Surf Shop, and I think you're at Pleasanton right now, right?
I'm still in Pleasanton. Yep.
So I used to work at the Pleasanton Mainland Skate and Surf Shop, exactly where he's at right now, and I used to climb those shelves to get shoes for customers. So a little storytelling between how Kwong and I know each other. So now, does it work yet?
Can I try it now?
Let me try again. Okay, yeah, it's working. Can you see it?
Yep.
So going off the same theme that Darius had, this was one of my first ones. I didn't exactly finish it because after receiving feedback on it, and I realized that it's a bit too busy. It's more of an art piece than like a graphic design in a sense, and some lines can get like you keep hard to see where they're going and stuff.
Is Trina your sister? Trying to bug you?
No, she's my aunt.
Okay.
So I decided to, hold on, how do I change what I'm showing? I decided to go back and revise like what approach I was taking. So I went for a more minimalistic style, which was seen here. This one's not exactly finished. The file right now is currently just a sketch because I've been reworking it. So this is an old version of it. So some of the proportions off, but I went for more of a minimalistic style. Decided to go like with sharp edges instead of like sketchy edges. And the feedback I got on it was pretty positive, maybe a little adjustments here and there. And I kind of went a couple different ways with this. I went like a samurai, but I also went more like demon and like just landscape and stuff like this. So another one that I made in like the same timescape, uh, not the newest version of it, but this is how it was when I first made it. It was supposed to be a woman coming through like a tear or whatnot, but after the feedback I received, I was told it looked more like she was peering from the glass. So I was gonna maybe incorporate that more and make it coming out of like a mirror or something. So most of my works are works in progress, but I'm slowly making progress to getting like a finalized design on everything. And one of the newest ones that I have, it's no color yet, it's just like a very simple sketch, was a landscape one because I wanted to like incorporate like I love Japanese architecture, like how they have like the temples and stuff. So I wanted to incorporate like a temple and a samurai as well. So this is a newer one. There's not much to say because I'm still trying to figure out where I want to go with it. But other than that, those are like the main designs that I've done so far.
Great. So, what do you think was your biggest takeaway, or what was the most important skill that you learned this summer?
Uh, art, like being an artist and being a designer, even though they seem like really close in comparison, they're actually very different. Artist is more looking for like a complete finished piece with shading and uh, intricate designs and stuff like that. Where design, you're more so focusing on what catches the eye, doing like more minimalistic, but still sort of complex, just not making it too busy because when someone looks at a shirt, they go to buy it. They're only gonna look at it for a couple seconds to see whether they like it or not. If you have like all this complex design stuff and they have to take a couple minutes to try to figure out what it is, they're not gonna want to buy it.
Yeah, that's really great. And I can really see that in your designs and how they progressed over time. Jeff, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I got to actually see your design early on too, and I thought they were really eye-catching. I like to see, I like the progress. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the design. It looks like there's a common theme going on, so to be able to compare them all is a good exercise, and especially when you're working with a team. I have a question for you. Like, as you're working as a designer on a team of people, like what was something you learned while working as a team?
Uh, that we all have very different approaches. Like, even though we have similar concepts, like, oh, we want to do like the rising sun or like temple in the background or like focus on the samurai, we still have like very different ways we want to go about it. Like, some could be like black and white, like a silhouette or like one color. And working together, we just need to like figure out, okay, what's everybody's strong suits? Like, what can you do? What would work best? We just give each other input on the designs and see where it goes.
And I really love the designs. Um, you already kind of shared some of your talent in your before the internship, and so it's really there's something about the designs that's very refined. Like, you have a very special taste in detail, it seems, and also colorways too, like the black and the yellow, and I mean the black and the red and the grays. I mean, it's very refined, and the geometries really kind of coherently come together, which is really phenomenal. And I know that Darius and Naya and the whole gang here was kind of riffing on the same kind of theme. So that's really beautiful to see that kind of come together. And I apologize I didn't share any comments, Darius, earlier, because I was actually eating, so I couldn't talk, but I could design too, Darius. So I'm really excited to see it all come together. And it's great that you're also iterating and creating new designs that are sketches like that. That goes to show that you're just interested in designing and you just want to keep sketching as well. The one with the tear, you know, what you may want to add there is, you know how it's a triangle, right? So you may want to actually extend, like try extending a line from one edge and then the other edge, just to make it seem like she's coming out of something, right?
Yeah,
as opposed to stopping there.
I was thinking of maybe stretching it a bit, making it a little more jagged so it looks more like a tear instead of just like a nicely cut out hole for her to stick her head through.
Have you tried getting a piece of paper or like different types of paper and just tearing it and then seeing what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
My sketchbook has been abused at this moment.
That's good. I think finding different ways of how you can perceive what you're going to create in your designs usually helps in the design process. But I really love your designs. You definitely have a knack for it and a taste for it. So I'm excited to see it go through the process for design and manufacturing. Thanks for your effort.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I'm really sorry, but there's only about 8 minutes left on this Zoom meeting. So if we can have everybody leave and then come right back, that would be great.
Yeah, that's true. I think we get started. I can text those, but I think let's start back up again.
Oh yeah, we're just waiting for
Me to download.
downloads. Yeah.
In the meantime, let's have John talk a bit about his experience. But John, would you be able to share just some high-level thoughts of your journey with Connetic?
Yeah, it's been really fun, really interesting. You know, starting off before this, I didn't really have a lot of kind of, I guess, experience with like working for a company as an internship. You know, those experiences that I got from this were really valuable. I learned to do a lot of stuff. I think one of the most important things was kind of just seeing how a company kind of runs everything and, you know, what it expects from its I guess workers and consumers, you know, both ends. And you know, this project kind of helped me get a little better view of that on both sides. So that was really interesting. Before this, I didn't really have that much like Photoshop experience or like editing experience, and I was able to work on Illustrator to get some designs out and kind of work on that and get feedback. And yeah, that was kind of my experience. I think it was really cool.
Especially if you didn't have any like Illustrator or Photoshop experience before, I'm sure most of the time was really kind of tinkering with some of the software, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just messing around and experimenting.
Yeah, for sure. So did you kind of enact more your designs through Sketch, for example?
Some of my designs I'd sketch out and then kind of like move that over to Illustrator, but I think more of the recent designs I kind of just built off of Illustrator. I didn't really sketch them any out. I was just more focused on learning to use it, kind of working just on there.
All right, cool. I think Kwang's got your designs pulled up now.
Yeah, so I think this one was
I think this one was the first one. This one with this background. So
that was the first one. I think that
right.
One all the way at the bottom. Yeah.
Right. So it was going from a progressive, you know, from your initial to your final, you know, to your last submission. So
yeah. So.
I was thinking this is the front and this is the back on that you kind of.
Yeah. So those were the kind of like the first kind of starting designs that I made, just because I was still learning, you know, what the whole theme of the company was and all the clothing. So I was just kind of messing around and see, you know, what will work. And this I started on a free program. I didn't use Illustrator for this one, so I kind of transitioned over and started making some more advanced stuff, and that's on the second design up top.
So
If
this
you could
is
show that one.
this is the
Yeah.
second one. Yeah.
Yeah, those two right there. Yeah. So that was when I transitioned over to Illustrator. Those two. After I made those, or those were the designs that I kind of got a better idea of what Kwong was expecting. So I kind of got to design some more complex and kind of like some more designs that kind of just reflect the overall theme and company. Those were some designs that kind of showed that. And I also used feedback from the previous ones to kind of build on that. So it was a lot of trial and error, getting feedback, working, and just to get the overall idea out there. And I submitted one more design, but it was just
Here's the
it wasn't
last.
actually on the shirt. It was just the
Yeah, this one.
that one. So this one was like the final or the most recent design that I've made. This one kind of, I think, solidified the theme and the idea of what we're going for. Although it still needed work, I was still working on that one and kind of fixing things up. But I think this one kind of demonstrates everything that I started off from and kind of work into something more different, kind of mixing the styles from everybody else's and pure feedback and everything. So yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned a lot of feedback and expectations. So how did your designs change and what was like some examples of feedback that you got?
So at first I was kind of making like designs that weren't really like fitting to the style of the company. So, I got feedback on like what kind of style I should really lean more towards. And I think this was one of the ones that really like took in all that feedback because I was doing more realistic kind of design. So, I kind of took a step back and went to like a more, it's like a more hand drawn kind of style, more subtle style. So I just really took in those little uh, those pieces of feedback to kind of make a better design.
Hey, John, could you share with us two things? Well, we'll talk about, keep this page up, but the one that you designed before that looked more like a photo, right? Can you tell us about
Mhm.
some of the tools and the tools you used on Photoshop or Illustrator to do that one? Because it is more of a photo-based one, right? So just tell us about how that one was made. And then I'm also curious to know how this one was made. I have a guess on how it's made, but I'd like for you to describe this one too. So could you describe how both those designs were made on and on which tool?
Yeah. So the last one, I believe the last one was made on it was on a different software if I remember correctly. I think it was Photopea. It's kind of like a Photoshop program that I learned to use in one of my photography classes. That was before I kind of got the idea that we had to go for like a different style. I was leaning more towards like I was trying to make like an aesthetic. I wasn't really focused on making like kind of like a hand sketch kind of like design, like the style. So before then I was using image and I was focusing more on placement and filtering and coloring more than I was on actually implementing different things into one image. And
Yeah, I
for
think.
this one,
Oops, sorry, go.
yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. I saw you mute, so I started talking, but didn't realize you.
Yeah, my bad. So for this one was when I went on to Illustrator and I kind of learned how to use it in like maybe like a week. Got some basic ideas down and I grabbed every like piece of feedback that I got before and I kind of just created this and kind of focus on kind of like the meaning behind it because I know that we're going for um like a Japanese style, with all the samurais and everything. So kind of went around that and I just created different pieces and put them together and focus on just creating something more simple, because before I was getting a lot of feedback that, you know, some things were a little too simple, kind of busy at the same time, and didn't really fit the style. So I was just kind of trying to fit the style as best as I could with this one.
Did you use when Illustrator released this feature called Live Trace? I found it super helpful. Were you able to use tools like that where you took an image, live traced it, and then it would kind of digitize it in these kind of more blocky geometrical shapes, you know, instead of a photo, and then you kind of tinkered around with it, added a background. Like, what were some of the steps that you took to do this?
To outline the stuff, I didn't use that, but before in one of my in the class that I was taking, we kind of learned how to. I think it was it's a tool that's in both of them. Oh, it's called like a lasso tool. So I kind of just anchored all the little parts of the image, and because I think with the trace one, it wasn't that accurate, so I kind of want to do it by hand. So I got as much as I could, and then it outlined it, and then I just filled it in.
Yeah, sometimes with like live trace, it doesn't it'll draw like extra stuff, or sometimes
Yeah,
it doesn't have a very crisp it's not very crisp, and sometimes when you're trying to change different colors, it doesn't work right. So it's always best if you can just draw it, you know, draw it the way you want to draw it. So live trace is a cool little cheat if you want to. It's like a you know, it's like a little cheat book, but it doesn't always give you the best effects.
Yeah, for sure. Another question is, what are some of your goals around your design skills? Like, what were you like? Well, let me ask you this: when you were kind of going for this, working on the pre-internship project for Connetic, and then going in the internship, like, what was your deepest interest in streetwear and Connetic? You know, that's the first question, you know, going in. And then second, where do you feel like you were looking to be? Like, where would you want to ideally be when it comes to design, and what you were looking as a final product, or, you know, what were you imagining? And is what you created meet that expectation that you had?
So I want to start with that second question. I think like going into this project, what I kind of expected was like just to get like a kind of like a basis of, you know, how everything works, how design works and everything. So I feel like I got that. You know, I may have not made super crazy designs, you know, with you know, the basic skills that I had, and some of the more advanced, you know, designing skills. And I feel like I got enough experience to kind of move on to like different things. Something that I hope on doing is maybe like transferring these skills and maybe designing things for, you know, maybe different companies, or um you know, for whatever it may be. I kind of just want to expand on designing for different projects, you know, not just clothing brands, but, you know, just other companies and stuff like that, like logos and all that. And then for the first question, if you could rephrase that one.
Yeah, what was your initial expectation of yourself going into this, you know, design of streetwear with Connetic?
Um, I didn't think it was gonna be this like kind of advanced. Not that it was hard, but I didn't really think that we would dive this deep into how things work, how designing works. So I'm kind of really like appreciative that we actually got to work a little more on how it all works, and how, you know, coming up with the clothing capsule actually works, instead of just, you know, talking about it and making designs for just the fun of it. So I was just really appreciative of actually working on it.
Yep, for sure. Sorry, last final question. I'm curious.
Yeah, it's okay.
And so, what do you? Well, are you going to keep going? You know, and are you going to keep you know, where would you like to take this next? I know that you guys probably have talked about what the ultimate goal is and how to get from now to there, right? Which I believe you all aren't there yet, right? But where do you plan on? What are the next leaps for you to
Yeah.
achieve to get to that end goal, for not just for Connetic, but for yourself and your initial expectations and wanting to see your product or project or product manifest in something tangible you can hold and wear.
Yeah. So I plan on maybe 'cause at the beginning of the project, I was told that we weren't gonna make like cut and sew pieces. That was something that I kind of wanted to work on. So I feel like I'd like to maybe make more designs and create my own pieces for myself. But I really want to like keep going with like the clothing stuff. It's pretty interesting. Kind of want to learn more about it. And yeah, just making more stuff, more designs, more pieces, stuff like that.
Awesome, cool. I just want to let you guys know that I'm sure how you initially got into the program for both. Well, John, I think Mr. Charles is going to be super proud of you to following through and making this a reality for yourself. So please let him know that you're completing your internship and show him some of the work that you've done. I think he's going to be super proud of you. So
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm
Now that we're
excited for you
back in
on that.
school, I'll probably see him and tell him too.
Yeah, for sure. And same with Darius. Darius, I know Mr. Group is going to be super proud of you too. As you know, actually, you may not even know this, but our program actually started, like PilotCity essentially started with BA kids. So you mean something very interesting to us, because we start with Business Academy at Sandwich High School with our program. So you kind of represent one of the kids that we used to work with, you know, like purely, you know, that we started with. So super proud of you as well. And Naya, I know that you're homeschooled, but then you're with Antioch High School. So Antioch is definitely gonna be proud of you, because Antioch's been super engaged in our program. And so I'm sure that your teachers would be excited to see the designs you've got it up to. So I just want to give you all some kudos and some congratulations on getting up to this point.
Great, and if I can jump in right here, I'd also like Darius and Anaya to answer those other questions that Derek proposed. Like, what was your initial expectation, and what are your future expectations? Can start off with Darius.
Yeah, so I guess initial expectations, like John said, I didn't expect it to be like this, I guess, in depth or advanced into like the process of designing and the process of how like you actually get a t-shirt made and to the final product. So yeah, that's something that I'm really grateful for, actually, because that's kind of what I wanted to learn about through this program, is really like more of the, I guess, behind the scenes stuff and like how it really comes together to create a final product. And the second question was expectations for the future, right? So I guess for myself, I want to just continue designing, creating designs to get a final product created, and I guess create designs for myself too, just because I like it. And someday I hope to start, I guess, my own t-shirt brand, but I know there's a lot of steps that go into it. So I've been just trying to learn and taking everything that I can. And yeah, I hope to be able to apply what I've learned here into the future.
Awesome. I'm sure the skills you learned this summer will come in handy. And Anaya?
I basically just expected we go in, we make designs, we get feedback, the shirts get made. I didn't expect it to be all like in depth, you know, like one-on-one meetings if needed, feedback whenever. All you have to do is ask. Weekly meetings where we could all share ideas. It was just very refreshing to be able to get a new perspective every week. As for the future, I really like and I never really stepped into the designing aspect of like clothes and stuff. So it was sort of a new new direction for me. It's definitely fun, and who knows, maybe I'll continue doing it and make find more companies to work with and create more shorts.
Yeah, that's great. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
I was curious if Amelia or Felisa had any thoughts. You were able to watch. I know you mentioned. Are you on mute, Felisa?
So I'm Anaya's mom.
Yeah.
Let me know if you can hear me. It's been a great experience for her from my end watching it as a parent because she went from going in thinking, oh, I got internship, it's going to be great, it's going to be fairly easy. And then she realized, this is work. She was clocking in, putting in hours, and her being 16, that definitely helped her give a good reality to what the real world is like. This was pretty much her first job as an internship. And I seen her grow so much. And Anaya, for the last couple of years, knew what direction she wanted to go into. And she would dabble in art. And dabbling became more a part of her life. And after this internship, I have a feeling she might actually change what career direction she wants to go into. And as her mom and the rest of her family who's all around, we support whatever she does. And thank you for giving her this opportunity. I did have a question though. I was wondering if, are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I was just wondering if there's something, if she can continue from. Were you able to hear me before? My phone was acting out.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to
Go
make sure.
and repeat
If
it
there's
just
going to
to
be
be.
a continuation.
I'm sorry, Felisa, why don't you go ahead and repeat that just so it's fully clear? So repeat the question.
Okay, the question that I have is, will there be an opportunity for her to continue progress in this area through PilotCity at some point?
Got it. Cool. Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, there's I think there's two kind of routes, I guess. And actually, I'll just kind of say this for everybody, all the interns, right? Because I know you've all, and I don't know, I haven't talked to any of you deeply about this or Qual, but you all kind of mentioned, I'd love to do this for another company, for example, right? Or your own designs. Great. Definitely have that in your ambitions. But right in front of you is this guy, or is he Quang? I don't know if that's pointing right hand, but Quang's the owner of a clothing brand, right? That you're interning for, right? And he also is a curator of clothing brands that he buys clothing for and then sells to other people. And you all have a pre-existing relationship with him. And so one recommendation idea to ponder on your journey into the future of design, for example, is to look at the opportunity of completing your current project to your best abilities and refining your project and product really to the best of your abilities so that it gets to the point of being a valid product that Quang can sign off on to manufacture and sell, and then see money and revenue come in to see your designs get manufactured and sold. The reason why that's a very important kind of goal for you three and beyond, and other interns as well in some cases, is because that's going to validate your abilities and validate your portfolio and validate your ability to design something that is worth being bought. Once you get to that point, you're going to be able to then show that off, right? To partners that Quang know that he might be able to refer you to, perhaps. Other companies that you see, right, and network with as maybe as a contractor, consultant for them. And then more importantly, it's going to give you some level of validation and confidence that you're able to do that, so that you can actually offer your skills and ability and creativity to Connetic actually more, right? As a platform for you to exercise your designs as you pitch forward with your next designs. And then also as you progress in your life, you can share that with other folks too. So I just want to share that that is definitely the route that I think you should highly consider as your #1 priority. And then in addition to that, just like actually Parul and some other alumni, you can always join our program again, right? And build another project for another employer and win internship. So I just wanted to say that also, Felisa, is that I think there's two kind of routes, and there's some stuff in between, but I think those are the two that kind of pop up in my brain like more immediately, essentially. Does that help, Felisa? Great, and really appreciate you being here as a parent. We found that our parents have so much input for us, and it's always so validating to hear that our program's like working. You know, when you see your kid like changing their mind about their career paths like live, you know. So maybe we can share more embarrassing things later one-on-one to talk about how Anaya has progressed in their life. But yeah, really appreciate it. I know we're heading up towards time, so I don't want to hijack this time. So pass it back to Parul.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for coming here. I'm just gonna pass it over to Kwong for any final remarks he has for the interns.
No, it's, everyone's been doing a great job. Like I said, they've progressed a lot from when they first started. But what I initially the initial when Derek and I first talked about this launching this internship, it was kind of, let's see what's what, but as we start going through it, there's a lot that goes into designing it. After designing it, making it, we still have to market it, right? So that's going to be another part of the process, is the marketing aspect of it as well. So it doesn't stop at the designs, right? It doesn't, just because the shirt's out there doesn't mean that someone's going to come through and buy it, right? How are we going to market it, right? So John mentioned that he was a photographer, creating content around the clothing first, and then hyping it up to your friends, to other people, to my platform, and then selling through it. And throughout this whole process, I was like, it's like, it's great to make the product, but it's not successful until you sell out of it, right? So and throughout this process, I was like, to me, it's not making the money isn't the part. The part is to sell out of it. I'd rather sell out of it and make no money and donate all the money, or give it back to everybody else, than having 100% of the money coming back but not selling out of it. Does that make sense? So but what I wanted for everybody is to see the from start to finish on what the process is to create, and this is just for a t-shirt. That's not including what John was talking about, like cut and sew, and because that's a whole different can of worms that you're opening when you get to that process. So once we finish this, and someone, if you guys want to move on to other stuff like building tech packs and all this other stuff, there's way more to go into that. So, but I just want to let you know, there's, this is only part of the spectrum, right? So, I'm super stoked that all the interns have, like I said, they've progressed and they've learned a lot, and I'm getting a lot of insight from you guys on a personal level, and how you guys are seeing this project. And yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it, and kind of walking us through how it is on a day-to-day. So
Great, thank you. And thank you to all of the interns for coming here today. It was amazing to see all your designs and the progress you've made. When you do make shirts, let me know, because I would love to buy some. They looked amazing. And that is all for today. Thank you so much, and good luck on your projects.
I do want to also let everyone know. I know that the project isn't necessarily done. I believe is, if I'm correct, right? But I do want to let you all know that this does signal the ability for you all to be. You will be joining us as alumni of Pilot City. So I just want to congratulate you for getting to this point. And we're excited to have you as part of the team and the squad and our family, alongside of many other interns who've gone through this program. So John, Darius, and I, we will be in touch. And a matter of fact, I'm actually very interested in talking to you all further as you become alumni. So stay tuned, and congratulations, and keep going at this, because you still got marketing to do and manufacturing. So you're definitely not done yet.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Kwong. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Thanks, parents.
Thanks.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
Have a
everybody.
great weekend, everybody.
Thank you.